build a FHIR app in 10 minutes. Let's get to it. I'm going to start by pulling up a terminal and cloning Asymmetric's FHIR app starter. This is a really nice project because it is written in React and allows you to really leverage all of the features of the JavaScript ecosystem, but still manage to work with the Smart on FHIR protocol and integrate nicely with EHRs. So I'm going to immediately yarn install to start pulling in the dependencies of this project. And I'm also going to move over to our config, which holds our Smart on FHIR information. And I'm going to update this to reflect the app that we're going to be using today. So I just added my client ID, scopes, ISS, and redirect URI. And now I'm going to move over to the source files and into containers. Containers are where most of the meat of this app is, and it's responsible for making requests to the FHIR server and rendering stuff on the screen. So we're going to start with Sagas. And Sagas are, it's a pattern where you can dispatch what you want to do to Redux Saga, which is a nice library that integrates with Redux, and it will perform your action and give you the results back. So you can see here we're already making requests for patients, and we can do the same for conditions. So I modified this file to also make a call out to condition and supply the patient ID, and we only want the active ones. So I'm going to add clinical status equals active. And then we're going to put this into the Redux store with the type load condition success, home/load condition success. And we're still going to have to reduce that, so let's do this now. So I'm going to move over to reducers now, and I'm going to modify this file to pull what we just dispatched into the Redux store. So we added a new case here called home/load condition success, the same case that we dispatched in our Sagas. And we're going to put our conditions into a property called conditions from our payload. And so the next state will have our conditions. And this way, our React components can pull our FHIR resources out of the Redux store and render them however they want to. So let's move over to our actual component. So this is a simple component that just says hello, and it's just one row. And we can make this a lot prettier now that we have our conditions loaded into the store to render this out. So let's do that now. So I changed this file quite a bit. We can start with our map state to props function, and this is where we can get our information from our Redux store and pull it into the properties of the component. So we know where our conditions are. We put them in state.home.conditions, and we're going to put them as conditions in our properties. So this way, we can object destructure them out of this.props. And again, these are asynchronous actions. So we want to make sure that we actually have conditions before we start trying to render them. So I'm just going to do a little null check here. If that succeeds, then we can move down to our actual render function, the meat of it, and loop through our conditions. I'm going to choose to filter out some conditions that don't have codings just for the sake of the demo. And then I'm going to map each one to a new row in a table. And I'm going to display their display and their code. So let's start this up and see what it looks like. So what this is doing is it's building our smart information into our launch.html and index.html. And this way, from the perspective of the EHR, it's really simple to register your endpoints, and it looks the same as any other Smart on FHIR app. Okay, we can move over to Cerner's Code Sandbox, which is what I'm going to use to test this, and open up a patient. log in. Here's what the starter app looks like. We can see that it's loading right now. And we can see after some time that the conditions were properly requested and displayed on the screen. Cool. So that's about it for me. If you need any more information on what just happened, then definitely check out a blog post on Asymmetric's website that goes through all of this in more detail. The FHIR App Starter is open sourced and available for all of you to use. And follow up with us at fhir@asymmetric.com. Thanks a lot.